How long does it take to sell a house? So did you just buy a house, or you're thinking of buying and wondering, if I want to buy first, can I do that? Because how long does it take to sell my house? Or should I sell my house first and then buy a home? We're going to talk about that in this video. So in this video, we're going to talk all about how fast a house can sell and what you can do to sell your home fast in order to make a decision of if you should be selling your home first or buying your home first, or you're just totally curious about this whole process before you even start. So this is Melody Wilson with the Real Life team, powered by Real Broker, Edmonton local realtor, talking to you all about this information today. This is a question I get a lot asked by my clients, people that call me, figuring out what should they do, and we always talk about a few different factors. So we're going to talk about the factors today to help you make that decision and see if you are going to be selling first or buying first, and how fast you can actually get your home sold. So before I start, I wanted to give you a free downloadable, so click the link down below on 7 tips to sell your home. Feel free to get this information and we'll send you some helpful tips. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us as well. So let's get started. So there are 3 main factors when you are looking to sell your home fast. 1, it's the market conditions. What are the market conditions like? And we're going to talk about that. 2, what is the condition of your home and the location of your home? And 3, what is the pricing strategy that you're going to be taking? So first off, the market conditions. There are always only 3 options for market conditions. You're either going to have a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. So let's start with the buyer's market. A buyer's market is when you have more homes on the market and not enough buyers and sales to actually offset the amount of inventory. So that means that there's more houses for sale. It takes you as a seller longer to sell because there's not enough buyers out looking. Never mind looking, they're not even writing an offer maybe. So that's what a buyer's market is. So the buyer has more control in this situation. And as a seller, you have less control because if we get an offer, we need to try to work with that offer. Now, as a rule of thumb, no matter what market it is, you should probably always try to work that offer and try not to get emotional about the offer and see what can be done. Now, in a buyer's market, the buyers tend to always want to lowball things. Not always, but they do. I see that a lot. I mean, I see that in every market, but especially in the buyer's market because they can see the houses have been sitting on the market for 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 days. So they know that the home isn't moving at that price. As you can imagine, the average days on market for a buyer's market is typically over 60 days. It does take a long time to sell. Now, you can still sell your home fast in a buyer's market, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but just wanted to explain what a buyer's market is. Now, a buyer's market also takes into account the absorption rate. What is the absorption rate? The absorption rate is how many homes are selling and how many homes are being listed. What are your odds of selling? So when your odds of selling are below 30%, you are definitely sitting in a buyer's market. Especially sellers, you can understand if you want to list your home and the odds of selling is 30% chance, it means 70% chance you're not going to sell. So you have to be very aggressive in your strategy when you are a seller in a buyer's market. Now, if you swing to the other side, to the seller's market, what does that mean? Yes, you've probably guessed it right. In a seller's market, there's less inventory, so less homes for sale, and there are more buyers and more buyers writing offers, which means higher sales. So you've kind of got this like other extreme where homes are not lasting on the market at all. Sometimes they're not even getting put on the market. They're selling before they hit the market. They're selling within a day. They're selling within 7 days, 14 days. Honestly, anything under 30 days, anything under 60 days is actually more of a seller's market. Now, in the seller's market, you can imagine the absorption rate and your odds of selling is quite a bit higher. So your odds of selling increase substantially, and you're looking at over 60% chances of selling. So, I mean, even honestly in this market, any chance over 50%, you're all honestly more in a seller's market. So navigating that and selling your home quickly and fast is going to be a lot more ideal. And you still need to be strategic because you still want to get the most amount. How do you know you're actually getting the most amount? If you just put it up and you think this is the highest price I'm going to get, and maybe you could have got more, that's always a question people are always wondering. So you do need to consult a professional to find out what the market price is and what strategies you can take to get just the most that you can in that market. So now in a balanced market, neither buyer or seller have the advantage. It's a little bit more equal playing ground, and the absorption rate there is anywhere from 30 to 50% odds chances of selling, or odds of selling. So you can see there that it's a little bit more equal. The sellers aren't saying, I'll just wait 5 more minutes and get another offer. And the buyers aren't going to just be like, well, I'm just going to move on to the next house. They're genuinely going to try to negotiate an offer on this property. So when your odds of selling are that, your days on market is typically in the 60-day range, but I'm making very big generalizations because keep in mind, depending on the neighborhood that you're located in and the condition of your home, which we're right about to talk to, that will affect your house selling fast in no matter what market you're in. So I just mentioned the location and condition of the home. That's the second factor to consider when thinking of how to sell your home fast. What is the condition of your home? Is your home move-in ready? Does it need to be renovated? Is it too small? Does it back on a road? Does it front on a main road? There's so many different factors. Think about that. That's going to affect how quickly your home sells. Now, you can imagine the things I just listed are usually the ones that are less desirable, and it will take longer to sell your home. Whether it's a buyer's or seller's market, it is still going to be a challenge to sell your home if it backs onto the Anthony Henday, which is a large throughway in Edmonton. So when you're a buyer, just think about this when you're purchasing a home as well, because you don't want to buy a home that's going to take forever to sell. You might get it for cheaper because it is worth less money, but you're also going to sell it for cheaper. So your equity doesn't grow as quickly as if you got into a location that's more desirable. Also, depending on the neighborhood in Edmonton, that makes a difference. Now, if you're buying in Edmonton, St. Albert Sherwood Park, St. Albert Sherwood Park actually did really good in the buyer's market, even when buyers had more of the control, because there was still less inventory in those neighborhoods. When the market was down, those areas still stayed pretty strong. If you're looking at Edmonton, the areas close to the River Valley, those older neighborhoods, they always retain their value. We still saw multiple offers, and you typically see that in a seller's market. But like I said, you can see multiple offers even in a buyer's market if you're in the right location. Now, the condition of the home is going to be significant in how fast you sell your home. If you are not a handyman, please do not renovate your property. Why? Because when you do that, it actually makes your home even less desirable. We have seen this. Don't YouTube how to install floors if you don't know how to install floors. Don't YouTube how to do baseboards if you don't actually know how to follow those directions to a T. Because every time I show those houses, you might be able to hide the blemishes on photos, but when you get in real life and you see all the discrepancies there, it makes your home even less desirable because they know that you have spent money and time and know that you will not give the house to them for the price that they're going to want to do to fix it. So you're better off either getting it done professionally or not doing it at all, because it's important that this home is move-in ready, whatever that means. So seeking professional real estate advice is important to know if you should be doing these types of renovations. Sometimes you also fix things that don't matter to the client. There's also some really cheap things that you can do to sell your home fast. Change those light fixtures. Those light fixtures actually date the home quite a bit. Paint your front door. There's some amazing curb appeal that happens when you paint just the front door. It shocks you, trust me. And there's a few other tips. So make sure you watch the other videos that I talk about of tips that you can do to get your house ready to sell for sale. Those will help you sell your home fast. Now, if the home is done quickly and priced correctly, you will sell your home fast no matter what the market conditions are. Now, we just talked about pricing, and that's the third factor. So the third factor to consider is pricing. No matter what the market conditions, no matter if your house is beautifully renovated or in the great location that everybody wants, if your house is overpriced, it's always going to be overpriced and the market will still not pay that. So you need to sit down and take a look at what has sold in the last 90 days, but you also need to look and see what has sold in the last year or two and go over that information with someone who is doing this professionally like myself, who understands the market conditions of each area and the city in general, and also understands how this affects your price and how we can get the best price with the right pricing strategy. Pricing is one of the most crucial things to get your house to sell quickly. So don't forget, it really does matter who you work with in terms of getting that pricing strategy. You may actually hear a variety of different opinions on what your house is worth. Make sure you take a look at the facts and the credentials of who you're getting the information from to make the proper decision. Now, don't forget, down in the link below, there is that guide that you can get for free. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you next time.